Hello, hello. I am here today with Ruth Stein and her daughter Naomi, and James is somewhere playing, keeping himself busy. Naomi has been attending IPLC since James was about 1 year old. So it's been about 5 years. Oops, I just saw him go in the background. And both James and Naomi have participated in Sunday school. I think it was last year when Naomi made her debut as toddler Jesus in the Christmas show. So, and there she goes. So I'm excited. I'm excited to be talking to Ruth today. I guess my first question for you is, how have you all been doing during the pandemic?
Um, we're holding steady during the pandemic, and we're in a good, we're in a good cycle. Now that school has started, James is doing school, but we still really miss our friends and all the things that we used to get to do normally to relax.
James is in first grade, right?
In first grade at Murphy.
Oh, wow. And so that's quite an experience doing Zoom. And you're working from home?
Yeah, I'm working from home. I've been working from home since March.
Yeah.
And it's tough to be an extrovert and work from home. So
Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
And I guess in thinking about, since IPLC has been remote, how have you been able to interact with church these months?
Well, so we do, the kids have been doing, the summer we did PJs and prayers, which was more, we have late dinner. So it was like pizza and prayers for the kids, which is nice. They got to share their with pastor and a couple other families. And we've done a couple Sunday children's sermons. And even if we can't get to those every week exactly when they're happening, it's really nice to know that those sermons are there and we can still hear messages when we need to hear them. And we do hear, because we live close enough to the church, we hear the church bells. And when we can hear those, I usually try to say, "Oh, do you hear that? Do you remember that?" And James is always like, "Yeah, I know, Mom." And yeah.
That's wonderful.
It is really reassuring and nice.
Yeah. And I guess it's been strange just not all being able to be together. I know just like the kids have gotten so big even since we've seen them. So it's been a little odd not being able to be together. And have you felt that way?
Yeah, it has been tough. And my daughter has just turned into a puppy, which is tough. It has been tough, but but I think one of the great things about church was the community that we had, and there's another puppy over here named James. And really in the pandemic, I needed some expertise, and I reached out to Pastor after sort of like using all my other options, and I thought, maybe she could direct me, and she really helped me. She connected me with Dee and Larry, who's not, they weren't people I would have thought of for this particular area, and they reached out so quickly and with such kindness. It was really around the, I don't know, when you don't expect kindness and then it comes through more than you kind of needed it. It's really, really.
Yeah. So I think you froze a little bit at the beginning of that. And so it was, I think kind of what you were saying was that you sort of not having us be together, but still being part of that community, that you had reached out to Pastor for some support with something, and she connected you to Dee and Larry, and that ended up being really special. And so it's kind of a nice reminder that even if we're not all together, there still is that community. Yeah. And so was that a little, I know you've often been someone who likes to help and you like to host coffee hour and you're able to pitch in. And so
nice this time because even though, we can't literally physically show up for people anymore. And we never really know, in moments like these, what we need. And it was really, I think that's probably the first time I had to reach, maybe the second time I had to reach out to pastor and say I need help, maybe the third time actually, now that I think about it. So I guess like in a way, this is a community where I know I can go and get help, even when it's tough to ask for it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I guess sort of looking, it's a nice reminder that our community is still there for when we are able to all be together again.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to being back in the church, feeling safe, feeling that everybody in the church is safe to be back in the building. Because, right, I have little kids. We know that little kids do fine, but that they can be a risk for everybody else. So that's a really tough thing about this church. And one of the things I love the most is how there's lots of different people there, different ages and different neighborhoods. And I'm going to be really happy when we can be all back together in the same space.
Yeah, and that will happen somehow, some way. At sometime we'll all be together again.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for chatting. And I look forward to when we can all be together. Bye, Naomi. Where's James? Say bye. Bye. Bye.
Hey, Mike. You want to say bye?
Oh, James, I think lost some teeth since we saw you.
Yeah.